Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's April 30th, 2024, and I'm up here in the third food forest area. I'm right next to the row of serviceberry plants that I transplanted, I think about a week ago. And I stood them all up, but I didn't get a chance to stake them out, and I really had to firm up, and it's still not firm yet, and smooth out all the big wakes and valleys and big track marks from the excavator. But I got to get this done today. Thea will probably come up later and tie them off. She's really good at, as a Girl Scout, tying up all of the plants and all. But I got several over there I've got to go tie up as well. But with these smaller ones that don't need too much, I might just put a piece of rebar here, and that'll be enough. The rest, the bigger ones, I use a T-post. So I've got those in the back of Pepe here. So that's one of the things I'm going to work on now. Hopefully I can get to those grapevines in the next day or two and get those pruned and maybe make another row of grapevines right up over here. We'll see. The plate is full, but we'll see what we can do. So here we go. Where's the button here? Well, it's the next day. I'm up here in the second food forest up near the road here. And I was able to get T-posts and rebar, half-inch rebar, 5-foot lengths, put in the ground up there to support the serviceberries as well as other trees that I transplanted up into the third food forest. So I got that done yesterday. I also went out back with Mini-Me in the smooth bucket and scooped up some of the leaf mold and or composted leaves, and got that around each one of the bases. Today Thea's going to go up and tie off some of those serviceberries and other trees as well to the T-posts and rebar that are in the ground, and I'll show that over there in a little while. And I got some pruning done over there in the third food forest, and I was able to fill in some of the big ruts over there. One of the big goals is to get a cover crop put in on the whole ground area over there. But before that, I want to do just a couple more things. I want to get, after Thea gets the trees and the serviceberry bushes secured to the posts so that we don't have them blowing over anymore, I want to get some wood chips and cover up the leaf mold, the ground. I want to cover up the ground over the, I'm going to call it living fence where the serviceberries are, and that'll make more sense later when I go over there. But just before the rain came yesterday, I came over here to the grapevine trellis. I put this up several years ago, and I have several grapevines here, and I'm going to end up moving these. It's a little bit too tight to this wall here when I want to work in here, and the moisture collects in there since I made a mound for the grapevines, which wasn't a great idea. So I'll be transplanting these after I get the wood chips on the serviceberries over there. And yesterday I came up and started pruning them down. How have I had these supported? Well, I use 4x4 pressure treated posts in the center all the way down. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like 6 of these. And then I put 6x6 posts at each end, and you may be able to see this one rotted right through and then broke off in a windstorm. And so I use the galvanized cable, and I use cable clamps. Let me see here. Here's one of the cable clamps that I use right here, and that allows me to secure it on each end. Now, the other reason I want to take this down is because that tree down there is about half dead. Bear with me for a second. Our gravel mine trucks are moving through. So, in that tree, I've had it tied off on that end. So I'm going to disconnect that. And then I want to go ahead, and after pruning these down, I'll clean up this mess here of the prunings on the ground here. And then we'll make spots over there, like similar to the living fence of the serviceberries. I'll be making a line for the grapevines as well. So, and the buds are swelling, but we're pretty close here. They're about to leaf out here really soon. So that's a status update at this point. we'll keep you posted on the progress as we go. Okay, I got the cables out of the 4x4s, which were supporting them, and you can see all but one of the 4x4s were rotted through, and they just snapped off as soon as I grabbed a hold of them and started to yank them out. Cable's over there in the ground. I still gotta get that wrapped up. And Thea's over here doing what? What are you doing here, hon?
These are serviceberries, and my job is to tie bowline and half hitches because I was the Girl Scout.
Yeah, she's a Girl Scout. She's much better at securing things than I am. Looks awful fancy there, hon.
You're fancy, not so much pressure there with the bowline and the half hitches are good over here. And we're working our way down the line.
Oh my goodness.
Then Kevin has more trees for me to tie.
That's right.
Then I work in the greenhouse.
More work.
Plurking. Play plus work is plurk.
Yay! Say that again.
Plurk. We plurk because play plus work is the word plurk. And it's more fun that way.
That's your lesson for the day, folks.
Have fun.
I've got no wisdom like that. Okay, back to work. Well, it's still May 1st, just winding down the day. Things have gone well. It's been an absolutely gorgeous afternoon. Really, a lot of fog this morning and cool, misty, but it warmed up this afternoon, which was really fantastic. Thea did get all of the serviceberries tied up and several of the other trees over there. We still have some more to do over there. But since she was able to get all the serviceberries tied up, I was able to, on top of the leaf mold, the composted material that I put here yesterday, I went ahead and got quite a few loads of wood chips and mulched the area as well. So that should help to suppress some of the weeds growing up in here. So that's pretty good. There's a lot more work to do up in here. I've been doing some pruning. I've taken a few loads of trimmings from the pruning process down and back, and I have some more to do and a couple more trees to straighten up. One of the things I did by mistake is when we're securing these, we use paracord, use a T-post, and put the paracord around here. With some of the ones, there's so much tension, especially during the windstorms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the tree guards to distribute the weight so we don't cause compression of the vasculature. So underneath the bark are two different channels that conduct fluids up and down the tree, from the leaves down to the roots, and those are the xylem and the phloem. They're just underneath the bark surface. And if we pinch that off too much, we can decrease the transfer of water and other nutrients to the tree. So what I'm going to do is put a little plastic guard underneath these. It just means more work. I should have done that right in the first place. But in a rush to do several things at one time while Thea was tying these up, I forgot to do that. And I'll show you what I mean. So these are little tree guards. Most of people use these. These expand out for protecting the tree against voles and certainly against weed whackers, those sorts of things. So we can just put this just underneath where the string comes across, encompasses the trunk of the tree. That put this small tree guard underneath the paracord, and that will distribute the compression against the bark, and therefore hopefully decrease the amount of compression affecting the xylem and phloem, flow of water and nutrients. So that's one thing. I did get all the material, well, not all of it, but most of the material up there. Not sure if you could see that very well. I got the grapevines down, and no, I didn't get them down. I pruned them and I cleaned up all of the trimmings from those. They're out back now, and I want to try and get some of those transplanted potentially tomorrow. And so what I did do was I came up here and I went 15 feet from this edge of the mulch that's there, and I laid down a string going down here fairly straight, and I started using some marker paint on the ground, but again, ours freezes and it gets all chunky, so that didn't work out so well. I'd rather just use some trail marker or a line marker, that sort of thing, using paint to mark the spots where I'm going to put it. But since that isn't going to work so well, I ended up using some of our little stakes here and put them every 10 feet apart in a straight line, and that gives me 9 that I'll put in. I've got a couple extras over there that I'm not sure what I will do, but I'll put 9 of them here, put a post at each end, and put some support posts in between as well. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to go with pressure treated again? We get 6 years out of our pressure treated posts. This is terrible. And I still don't have a truck yet to go and get cedar, because I used to have cedar, used to work really well on this property, or black locust. Those work really well as well, and all. So over here we're making some progress in this area. I'll try and make a video of each one of the food forests as they're starting to leaf out. You can see better. It's really hard when they're bare to see what's what, but that's what the big rush is now. I want to get everything flattened out here as much as possible, get all of the trees supported as much as they need to be supported, prune everything that needs to be pruned, and then I'm going to put a cover crop, and I'll go over the cover crop mixture that I'm going to put down, and I'm going to be putting down some clover as well. So I'll be putting down some alfalfa, some clover, and an entire cover crop similar to, you know, that has the mustard, the vetch, the daikon radish. It'll have a couple of different clovers in there, other brassicas. Did I say mustard? Yeah, and triticale. I think that's about it. It's one of the seed mixes that I've used, cover crops for the gardens and all, and they work really fantastic. And so doing everything we can to enrich the soil here. We build a lot of really good soil. This was all gravel before, but with the wood chips, the cardboard, the culture pits, the compost that we've done over the years, this has really transformed nicely, and I think things can really take off. And I just want to smooth things out. I want to be able to get in between everything with a mower, but first we'll go ahead and put a cover crop down. Let us start building the soil food network, the food web underneath the soil, or in the soil rather, and get everything established, and then our mycorrhizal fungi can establish the internet connections between all of these various trees and all, and that should be beneficial. So the big rush to get as many things transplanted here, but as you can see from looking at the forest edge here, the curly willows, they've leafed out. The maples are just starting to leaf out. The quaking aspens, they've leafed out over there. The poplars, the quaking aspens, and the willows have leafed out. So it's all coming around pretty darn quick. So the big push is on to get this finished. Everything else waits while I can get everything in the ground, so I'm not stressing out the trees or the bushes very much as well. So that's it for today's video. No tractor or anything else going on with this. Didn't shoot any of that today. And if you found this of value, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.